Overall, we planned quite well. There was one line that we didn't really have a particular plan for. We sort of just made it up on the spot since we had a line originally. We didn't really agree with what we were trying to say with that line, so we sort of scrubbed it and said to Ryan, like, just improvise a line, just sort of make it up on the spot, and it flowed quite well. He did a good job with just improvising, so it flowed very well into the piece, and it was hardly noticeable in the entire video. Also, we made sure that everyone knew sort of what we were trying to say about each of the characters in the clip. The journalist was sort of in a position of fake power. There was a few low angle shots of him, and there was a few high angle shots of the serial killer. But what we were trying to say in the entire clip was the serial killer was in a position of true power, while the journalist was sort of in a position of fake power. The serial killer was untouchable throughout the entire clip, no matter what the journalist was saying to him. It was sort of like water off a duck's back. He didn't really care what the journalist was trying to say to him, or anything. Any insults that were being thrown at him were sort of just ineffective. There was one point in the clip where the serial killer gains power instead of the journalist. He's presented as a powerful figure. It's when he reveals to the journalist that he had some part to play in the murder of his fiancée. But after this sort of switch of power, it was to be switched back into the journalist as he loses his temper and storms out of the room. The way that we were going to present costumes in this scene were the journalist was to be presented as wearing very formal clothing, white shirt, black tie, that sort of stuff, so he was presented as authoritative. And then the serial killer was to be presented as a wee bit more casual, wearing more casual clothing, sort of a jumpsuit sort of
meant to be like a prison jumpsuit.
Yeah, yeah. So that was to sort of show that the journalist is reinforcing his fake power, his sort of fake authority, while the serial killer didn't really care what he was wearing. It didn't really matter to him. It didn't really affect his position in the scene.
He's more comfortable with his power.
Yeah, that too. The journalist was sort of in more uncomfortable clothing, maybe it could be said, and the serial killer was much more comfortable in his position, and he wasn't really bothered by being in a place that wasn't exactly home to him. We encountered one problem with the location that we were filming in. It was in an interview room in the school, and the first day that we went to film, there was sort of this backboard in the background of the shot, and then the next day came when we were filming and it wasn't there anymore, so we sort of had to go back and reshoot all of the scenes and sort of edit those in and try to edit all of the clips that had the backboard out and just replace them with a new sort of shot. And that was a small sacrifice to maintain continuity in the scene.
For the majority of our piece, we were pretty successful on our film. There were no immediate problems when it came to like individual shots. We used a variety of shots when it came to it, like over the shoulder shots and no angle shots. The low angle shots were to establish in the beginning the journalist's dominance, but then to show that the serial killer like taking the dominance from him. They also used to show that the journalist realises that he's not in as much control as he had thought in the beginning. As he storms out, there was also a low angle shot of him when he's like standing up. This re-establishes his dominance after he loses his temper. Overall, the shots were significant and well filmed. Camera techniques were pretty good as well. The rule of thirds was used itself, to put significance on each of the characters. We also used an action match. When the door was open, and we opened it from one side and then opened it from the other, and it would look pretty good. 180-degree room was also observed.
There was also one bit there where Connor was sort of hard to hear, so we sort of had to edit the sound there.
Yeah.
So still didn't help.
Yeah.
The worst problem was when I got my haircut. We just finished filming, but we wanted to film another line in, and we couldn't really do it, properly. It was a bit problematic, and we couldn't restart filming because we, obviously too far into it. So we just had to make it do, That was our worst content of the year. Lighting was, pretty easy to do because we were in a small room with no windows. Well, there was one window, but it was into a dark corridor, so there was no real change in the lighting from day to day. The lighting in the opening scene in the corridor was low key, which indicates the journalist's hesitance and apprehension when it comes to speaking to the serial killer. But when he entered the interview room, the lighting was high key then to show his confidence in the situation, how he was willing to overcome the hesitance.
Editing went rather well. We weren't really familiar with the software, so we had to take our time getting used to it, to find our bearings. But once we knew what we were doing, it was a lot easier. The software was really user-friendly, which helped, but we did have some issues when it came to our clips, like sound issues we wanted to use. Some clips had better visual effects than others, but bad sound, so we had to take sound from other shots that we had used and put them into that. We found that this helped a lot. For example, when we moved the sound of the door to later than it would have been at the end, we cut to black and it added a dramatic effect to the shot. We also had some clips of Ryan that was in the wrong position. However, we noticed this during the editing and we were able to retake the shots to correct this.
And also when Connor opened the door, he said,
You've got 5 minutes.
"You've got 5 minutes," but it was too quiet. We had to take it from another clip then.
We were able to learn how to do this quite easily due to the user-friendliness of the software. We learned how to add video and audio effects too, how to add credits and incorporate music into the clip. Overall, the piece was quite good. We were really pleased with it. There were difficulties in continuity that we got over quite easily.
There was one point when I got my haircut very short compared to the haircut that Ryan got, where he got his haircut just a wee bit shorter. It was sort of hard to notice. My hair was completely different, but by that time we were just about done finishing the project, so we were pretty lucky with that.
We found it hard to finish the clip within the time we were given, but we were able to complete it on schedule.
Thanks for listening, and hopefully we do better in the next one.